One thing for sure, as African people, we still have a very, very long way to go. Because, I mean, tell me why we are not allowed to even grow our own food. Like, we are not allowed, like, we are literally criminals if we are found exchanging our own seeds that even our ancestors used to do to grow food in Africa. Guys, this is what Kenya is going through right now. Watch this video, come back, and let's talk about it.
Now, smallholder farmers have sued the government over laws that prohibit farmers from selling and sharing seeds that are not registered or certified. The farmers are drawn from different parts of the country and have termed the laws contained in the 2012 Seed and Plant Act as punitive and a threat to food security in Kenya. Greenpeace Africa project lead 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗂 says they want the act squashed as it favors large-scale farmers. Or should I said quashed. Now, the act prescribes fines of up to 1 million Kenya shillings or a maximum 2-year prison sentence to offenders. According to Greenpeace Africa, many smallholder farmers rely on informal farmer-managed seed systems, where farmers exchange indigenous seeds with each other to enable food production. Now, locking farmers out of agriculture by punitive seed laws will reduce agricultural productivity, which in turn lowers income and food supply.
To note that in Kenya today, small-scale farmers rely on exchange of seeds with their neighbors to secure their food supply. And this is largely characterized by the lack of seed testing, certification, and formal registration or quality control. And many farmers, again in Kenya, have over the years seen the need to save some seeds and share these seeds with their neighbors to grow during the subsequent cropping season. So this law, the Seed and Plant Varieties Act, Cap 326, requires the registration of seed merchants and the certification of seeds in Kenya, whereby the registered seed merchants, mostly of them are corporates or big seed ag companies, manage the production, processing, and packaging, as well as distribution of seeds, making it a crime to plant and exchange uncertified seeds, which are the core of indigenous knowledge by farmers who've used these indigenous seeds since time immemorial.
Know what exactly happens on the ground. And just to pull you a bit back, it's not a local problem. This started with the UN in the Earth Summit in 1992. Documents were put together of how to centralize land, how to take over country sovereignty, how to take over food. Okay? And if you pull your thought backwards, we had a push for GMOs in the 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗀 era. And 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗀 did a good thing. It did public participation. Kenyans spoke loudly. They were not interested in GMOs. Those documents sit in parliament. Documents of public participation where Kenyans say they didn't want GMOs. Because it starts from there. Those 10 years were sort of peaceful years. Then we came to the Uhuru administration, another 10 years. There was a push all over for GMOs, but he was a bit reluctant. But because he knew, GMOs are related with a lot of diseases as we speak. Compare cancer cases 20 years back and now. Compare cases of autism in children. Look at those numbers. 20 years, they've skyrocketed. It is all coming to GMOs, okay? When they craft these things in offices, the intent is to take away food sovereignty. Food sovereignty, food security is tied to seeds because seeds are God-given. You know, it's God-given. God gave human beings to live. Okay, because when you go to the wilderness, there are a lot of fruits that heal. When you talk to herbalists, they go to the forest to pick foods, roots, leaves that will heal the body. So what are these people doing? They're coming for the seed. But don't forget, seed, you cannot patent a natural seed. So what do? They take the natural seed to the lab, they change the genome. That's where we get now GMOs. Once they change a genome, they have the right to patent. That's what they do. And own it. But remember, they've picked it from a natural occurring seed. They've not created their own seeds. If it's a bean, they take the beans, take it to the lab and change. Once it's patented, they own it. Okay. These seeds we are talking about, Lynn, that are GMO seeds, they have been manufactured in labs with things we call terminator gene. A terminator gene is when you plant that seed, you cannot, whatever the fruits or the offsprings, whatever you get, the harvest you get, you can never use it to plant again.
You cannot replant.
You can never replant. So you have to go back to the source.
And buy.
Who are these people? They are multinational corporations that are funders of these organizations that are pushing for these policies to be implemented. You see how it's coming now to affect us. What do? They come to governments. Technocrats in offices. I'll give you an example. And I'm talking about seed. It is so diverse. I'm talking about animal seeds. I'm talking about plant seeds. I'm talking about stems. Seed is hugely diverse. Then they come, they buy our technocrats in offices. These people are paid. Sometimes you wonder, who sits in these offices? Who writes these bills? They've been paid.
They're also saying that they find the CS can say that if you are not productive in your land, the government can also repossess
your land.
Isn't that thought to encourage people to be productive?
That's not the agenda.
It's your private property. You can do with it whatever you want.
It's your land.
I can grow grass.
Yes.
And leave it there.
Yes.
If you want.
Yes.
You see what they're doing?
What is the bigger picture? But just know there are people pulling the puppet hands. But we don't care about the background. We are saying, let us hold our leaders accountable and say that this is no longer going to work. So when the Gen Z is telling people, come out in numbers and let us put these people in, question them and ask them why, how, when. We've seen people on social media doing amazing things. And we need to stop this vehicle before we actually get to a point of no return.
Yes.
And one of the ways is making sure that at least we control our seeds.
Exactly.
We can make noise here all day. And I know you will ask for a call for action by the end of this show, is that yes, make noise, let yourself be heard and be seen, but also make sure that you're also saving seeds as a person, as an individual. We need to go back to our old practices. We have seen, we were just here chilling, producing food, we were fine.
Comfortable.
Yes, then someone from out there said, oh, you guys are not being efficient. You should be producing 50 bags of maize. You should be doing this, you should be using harvesters, then we dropped everything we were doing, which was working.
Okay.
But we've been pushed pills all the time. Someone comes with a problem and offers you a solution.
The solution, yeah.
It's time we need to start questioning everything.
What GMO seeds are?
So a real seed, germ means life. I take a paddy seed, I put it into the soil. It'll give me 1,000 paddy grains. So it multiplies, it regenerates on its own. Hybridization was the first step the companies took to say farmers shouldn't save seeds. So we'll hybridize so the next generation of seed does not breed true. There was still a plant,
Right.
but it would not give good rajma. So you couldn't use it. But GMO, genetically modified seeds, they add a gene that doesn't belong to that plant. But because every organism has a tendency to reject what doesn't belong to them, they have to add viral promoters. There's 100,000 cells in the petri dish. Maybe one cell absorbed this gene. So you have to separate it from the others. So you put an antibiotic resistance markers. A GMO has antibiotic resistance, viruses. It's been done because it's linked to patenting. This is why I save seeds. Because once you have a patent, you treat the seed as your property. And you treat a farmer saving seed as an intellectual property thief. In America, farmers went to a grain market and bought soybean and planted it. Monsanto sued them. Supreme Court of America has ruled even 20 years down the line, the grain from the seed is the property of Monsanto because it is a self-replicating machine that Monsanto invented.
When I come on the internet every time and I'm like, I don't blame other groups of people for coming to Africa because they see us as dumb and stupid. It's because they see us as dumb and stupid. Because tell me why our grandparents, our ancestors were able to trade amongst themselves, share seeds because they understood the systems, they understood the seasons, they understood the ground and nature. And then here we are having leaders like now in Kenya, they're like, you know what? No. The way this thing of sharing seeds is non-productive. And it's non-productive not because it's benefiting you Africans, but because it's not benefiting the Western countries. Because I've been hearing about the GMOs for quite some time, guys. Let's be realistic on how Bill Gates wanted to push it so much in the African continent, and which better countries to start with than Kenya, Nigeria, or South Africa. Because they are the kind of biggest in terms of exposure and noise when it comes to African countries. So you really question yourself, why are we still blaming other groups of people when they are able to just come and pay off our own leaders, and they are able to accept whatever they put into any contract that is given to them, as long as they're going to get money out of it. Because, I mean, when someone controls the seeds, especially food, they own you. You know, we can talk about, let's say, resources like gold or diamonds or whatever, those ones they take from the ground. But if someone controls what you eat, guys, you are finished. Because like you've had the ladies, these seeds that they are trying to push into the African continent, when the fruits come out, you cannot put them again in the ground. You need to go back and buy. Guys, my mother is a farmer. They exchange seeds with her neighbors. If she has some fruit that is really, really good, she shares it with the neighbors so they can all have it and grow it and have good fruits out of it. So when you're telling us that now we cannot share seeds like our ancestors did, now we have to wait for a white person somewhere or a Chinese person somewhere in the laboratory to create and give us seeds for us to grow, for us to have food, then we literally have a problem. And whoever is signing these freaking ridiculous contracts with them people from the West, I don't know, is a freaking MF. Let's be realistic. You cannot play with African people to that extent. You know what? They sell resources, it can be fine. But our land, our food, I mean, Africa has like the fertile soil of ever. Africa has the most fertile soil, the most of everything. What makes you think we need seeds from Western cold nations that cannot grow food for us to grow food? It just doesn't make sense. Like, this really doesn't make sense. I really can't emphasize on how we need to be taking our leaders accountable for these things happening to African people, because this is going to affect our future generations of children of African people. If we are going to be like, it's the same system when education is in the hands of the white, health is in the hands of the West, religion in the hands of the West, politics in the hand of the West. Resources are not controlled by African people. Now it's coming to land and food that we should be waiting for seeds to be coming from the Western countries for us to wait to be fed. And of course, bring that narrative that Africans don't have food. When I come from a country, guys, in Uganda, where you can literally get any seed after eating, throw it anywhere on the soil of Uganda and it grows in a year, in a month, in months. Why are we letting these things happen to us as a people? Why are these people letting these things happen to us? What kind of things do they tell them that makes them really underestimate everything their ancestors of Africa really used for them to survive, and drop it like, no. When these people bring these things, it's what works. And it's so frustrating at this point. You really get at a point when you're like, oh my God, if I can get some of these people that really sign these contracts, oh my God, I don't know what I would do to them, because it's crazy. We are trying to push Africa to be going forward, trying to control our resources, trying to control our leadership, trying to control things. And then these same leaders that force themselves in power are the same people letting these things happen. Tell me why they are saying if they find farmers exchanging seeds not certified, apparently seeds have to be certified, they will be arrested. If you have your land that you own and you don't do anything with it, it can be taken away from you. Are you joking? Guys, where is this African continent going? Because I feel like it's like we take 3 steps in front and we take 10 steps backward, because this doesn't make sense. You cannot be doing these things to the people that look like you, pleasing people that don't look like you. Why would you do this? And these people, it's like these leaders forget that when they pass on, They are going to leave their children as well. They are going to leave their families as well. They are going to leave their people as well. It's the same thing. It's the same thing actually that happened in history, where these chiefs, kingdoms, leaders still that we had were so selfish, entitled, and really stupid, if I may say, that they were able to sell their own people thinking they are benefiting, but in actual sense, they were still conquered and still lost everything that they owned in their kingdoms. Same thing. Guys, it's the same thing. So I really can't stand, and this is a message that African people need to rise up and really understand that we need to fight for our continent. We need to fight for our future descendants. Like, this cannot happen. We are not going to let a group of people that sit in laboratories in the cold nations of snow where nothing grows or nothing moves or has life in their soil be able to just be there and give us their seeds to grow. And when their fruits grow in our soil, we cannot reproduce them. We have to go back and ask for the goddamn seeds. Make it make sense. That's oh my God. Guys, I really can't. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this, because it's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. Guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.